And now, CCW News presents Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening! Thrills, Chills, and Toxic Spills Edition, Valentine's Day After 2023. I'm Chuck U. Farley. The big news this week is the lack of news on the deadly gas still billowing for the Ohio train derailment, followed closely by the news blackout of the lethal gases spewing from the Texas train derailment, followed closely by yet another toxic chemical explosion from a truck wreck in Arizona. In each case, authorities are assuring the public that they are completely safe and should just ignore fast-spreading multicolored chemical clouds, dead animals, and any signs of sudden onset cancer. While train derailments have recently increased significantly due to Biden's soft spot for terrorists, Chief Transportation Diversity Hire Booty Juice blamed his incompetence on Trump, per script. Since allowing the Chinese to fly spy equipment over the entirety of the continental U.S., which highlighted the Biden regime's ineptness rather than distracted from it as planned, they're now diverting to a story based entirely on unnamed sources, which essentially means it's completely fabricated, that 2 more spy balloons penetrated U.S. airspace while Trump was in office, but were somehow only spotted after the current potted plant was installed into the Oval Office. These reports are totally plausible if you're willing to believe that no one in all 50 states saw them, no one in the air reported them, and all of the military and 3-letter organizations suffered TDS so severely that everyone in every outfit was willing to commit treason by hiding it from the press, the people, and the commander-in-chief. Meanwhile, in an effort to distract the public from the U.S. blowing up the Nord Stream pipelines, investigations into the Biden crime family, prescription drug shortages, and the skyrocketing price of eggs, the military tweaked their tracking systems to be more sensitive to smaller objects and has declared anything that zips, flies, or flutters near our continent's airspace a UFO that needs to be Top Gunned out of existence. So far, we've taken out several of our own weather balloons, a rogue bouncy house, and 2 hang gliders. Speaking of socialist dictators, Canada's Trudeau, who still hasn't given up his totalitarian COVID control, came home from the WEF inspired enough to push an all-encompassing censorship bill. Bill C-11, known as the Online Streaming Act, empowers the Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission the power to, quote, assume jurisdiction via regulation over any program that is monetizable because it directly or indirectly generates revenues, end quote. The USA's Democrats did such a good job working with mainstream media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to censor or flat-out deplatform all other political opposition, Trudeau said in his best Marilyn Monroe impersonation. It's time for Canada to step up and ensure that only state-controlled propaganda is allowed on any platform at any time. Continuing with the topic of government-induced noxious gas, in an effort to make the Grammys even more unpleasant to watch than last year, the entire show took on a satanic theme. Literally, with devil horns, BDSM strippers, and Biden's speech red backgrounds. Much of the music was off-key, or not music at all, and in another language. They even took an obviously drug-addled Madonna out of mothballs to show off her new chop shop face. With severely racist overtones, the ritualistic ceremony celebrated deviance, obesity, and child mutilation. By the way, the entire show was sponsored by Pfizer. I swear, I am not making this up. Immediately after releasing their biggest story ever, the board of Project Veritas voted to oust their founder because he may have hurt the feelings of a staffer who never should have been part of the project because he, she, it, they still has pronouns in their bio. There isn't much more to report on this stroke of pure idiocy yet, because without James O'Keefe, nobody gives a crap about Project Veritas. Speaking of strokes, steamed vegetable and favored VP candidate John Fetterman was just released from the hospital after feeling lightheaded from all the hot air at the talk about anything but the actual State of the Union address. Don't worry, folks, it's not serious. Word is he only got his neck bolts polished and is already back in Washington, D.C. with the rest of his brain-damaged peers. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap, This Is Actually Happening. I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us.